Dragonflight's quality will compare to Legion. Okay. Here's the thing. I can't predict how an expansion is going to roll out. I can't tell you, is an expansion going to be good? Is an expansion going to be bad? Not even at launch. Not even any time during beta times can I tell you an expansion is going to be good or bad. Why? A World of Warcraft expansion has not been done until it's done. Think back to Warlords of Draenor. Hippity hoppity hypity at the start. My god, did they drop the ball, right? Think back to Mr. Pandaria, where everybody at the start were face palming like, oh my god, they're adding pandas and monks to the game. Fantastic expansion. Legion, fantastic expansion. So it's really, really difficult to predict at the start, like, this is what the expansion is going to be like. What I can tell you is, for my personal experience, my personal mindsets, going into Dragonflight, after checking out the beta, after looking at the interviews, after seeing like what they're doing, my personal mindset is that it's cool. Dragons are cool. New class, new race is cool. I'm gonna check out the leveling. And beyond that, I'll see. I'll see if the raid's gonna be fun. I'll see if Mythic Plus can pull me in. And if it doesn't, I'll have a fun couple of weeks, and then I'll move on to a different game. And if it does, let's hope it does, right? The bonus, the benefit is that we're looking at no more borrowed power systems, which is great. We're looking at the new class edit, which is great. We're looking at the talent windows, which are great as well. Howdy, everybody. My FPS in Dragonflight. I recently got a new PC owner, so it's quite out there. Am I Asmongold from the future? Okay, so one of the really cool things. Here's the thing. In Shadowlands, at some point, they very strictly said, like, we don't want people to create loadouts, right? Which is why they added these in which you couldn't swap out those souls back in your covenant. You could only do it a couple of times a day. In which they invented these arbitrary systems in which you couldn't swap freely between your different covenants. You were locked into one and you were excluded from the others. All of a sudden, you were only playing through one quarter of the expansion, and if you wanted to have more, either a different character or this long-ass renown thing. Happy to report that on Dragonflight, we have loadouts. Oh my god, they also added starter build. I actually recommended this like a couple of streams ago. I was like, you know what they should do? They should add a starter build, and they did! Yay! They did. Okay. So, what's happening is they've ripped out a whole bunch of the abilities and the things that you have in your books, and they ripped out a whole bunch of your talents, and they added into a big-ass talent window. You got your basic class talents on the left, and then your specific specification on the right, in this case, Retribution Paladin. I can't speak for every single class, it's just not my forte, right? Don't go around asking people what class is the best, because the flavor of the month won't be decided until flavor of the month. But spoiler alerts, Dragfear are going to be the best for the expansion. Guaranteed. And probably Demon Hunter as well, because they've been great for the last 2 expansions. Free tip right there. More importantly, what I think when it comes to these talent windows is that they give you the freedom of choice. And what I'm seeing in the development, what I can see in the vision, is that... so in the design plans... what I'm seeing is that you get the option of choice. So you'll find yourself in different scenarios. You'll be doing Mythic Plus. You'll be doing raids where you have single target and multi-targets. You'll be doing PvP. You'll be doing outdoor content, indoor content, solo content, pet battles. Who the hell cares? You'll be doing a whole bunch of content, and for different content, there will be different talent builds that are going to be optimal, that are going to be more enjoyable. In the case of the Paladin, as what I found over the last few expansions, is that you often have the choice between active abilities and proc abilities. And when it comes to active abilities, you usually get like a bit of a better number, but when it comes to proc abilities, a noob like myself, you'll find an easier time to play, and therefore my numbers are better than when I have to be actively on my buttons, right? Choices like that can be found in this build-up, and you can actually make loadouts. So you can decide, like, I'm going to go Mythic Plus, I'll load up this loadout. You can have those choices in there. They'll go over to a website, and they'll get the meta talent trees, 100%. That is definitely going to happen, but that is unavoidable. In a video game, people are going to look at what is the best. It's unavoidable. What the best case scenario that you can get is choice. With minuscule. So, say for example, Hang on. My in-game music died on me. I guess it's not looping. So say, for example, that I go to Wowhead or I go to sim my character, and it tells me I will do 250 damage more if I roll into this talent system, but I would have to be very active on the ball. I would have to be very on the nose. Every single cooldown, global cooldown, has to be hit perfectly in order to get that 250 extra DPS. Or 1,000, or who the hell cares. For me, I would rather pick a more chill playstyle in which I can enjoy the procs and just... As long as the difference is close enough to each other that you don't feel like you're gimping yourself, that you don't feel like you're nerfing yourself actively. Like, unless we're talking about massive 50% differences, then yeah, fair enough. That is definitely something that they need to consider. But if it's close, like 5 or 10%, I would rather have a proc chill build rather than the 5 to 10% max build. And I think with a system like this, you can definitely have those options. Now that is, design-wise, what they want to do. Are they going to deliver? Who the hell knows? But you can see that that is the design behind it. Sorry, 5 or 10%, I would more than happy 5 to 10% for a chill playstyle. Because ultimately, with the chills playstyle, I'll be doing better. And at the end of the day, you can't do damage if you're dead on the floor. You can most definitely save your talent builds in loadouts. You can even, if you find somebody that you're like, my hero, Nobbel the Noble, oh, your damage, your deeps, your magnificence, I want to be like you. Then you can just, you know, ask me and I'll give you my code and then you can import it and you, boom, you got my talent build. Yay! So you don't even have to go to Wowhead anymore. Oh. Check me launcher, what's happening? Huh? Like one for AoE, one for single, 100%. Yeah, and ultimately, as you said, people are gonna go to Wowhead. They are most likely going to find out their immediate, like this is my most optimal build, but it's unavoidable. There is no solution to that problem, as far as I know. Oh, Austin via beta. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, then you definitely need to check your launcher. So when it comes to, does Blade of Justice still only generate 1 holy power? Oh yeah, when it comes to the Paladin, by the way, the way that I've picked my talents, the changes that I can tell you from a Rep Paladin, if you're gonna ask me about the other classes, I literally cannot tell you. I know Paladin, and that's barely. Rep Paladin feels like the holy power generation is on steroids. That is because they've added abilities like Divine Toll into your talent window. That they have added abilities like Wake of Ashes. It can proc and instantly reset itself, which is another free holy power. I find that the holy power generation is a lot quicker, which not only allows you to do for more finishers, but you can also use it for our newly added combat res. Yes, Paladins are getting a combat res. I'm sure that as the damage dealers that we are, we're very excited about keeping the rest of our party alive. But at the same time, they've also changed the aura. Retribution aura. I don't know if it's actually on live. Forgive me if it is. But when any party or raid member goes on the floor dead, we will get Avenging Wrath, which is as it is on live as far as I know. But when any of them drops or takes more than 50% of their health and damage, we get Seraphim for 4 seconds. Which is quite nice. The name of the res is... Oh god, where did I put it? Intercession. But... Oh shit! Ladies and gentlemen, this just in. They have removed the requirement of free holy power for intercession. It does appear that intercession has just become a 1.8 second cast and no holy power required. Very delicious. Oh yeah. So in that case, I would say that Christopher, you as well. In that case, I would say like Rep Paladin, it plays very similar to as it does on live. Only the holy power is a quicker generation, and number-wise, I can't tell you. There are going to be people that are going to sim these numbers, and they're going to tell you exactly this is what you can put out, and those numbers are going to change. next to that, what I am looking for, what I am hoping for, and we gotta keep in mind, like, things are still in development. For the Protection Paladin, it does still cost 3 Holy Power. That is correct. Yes. But, you know, as a Protection Paladin, I don't think that's bad enough. Like, as a Protection Paladin, you use your Holy Power abilities, especially for healing or, like, cooldowns, but I could definitely see you, as a Protection Paladin, being able to drop over a 3 Holy Power. So there's that. But what I'm really looking forward to and really hoping for is that we're going to see something that blows my mind when it comes to a Red Paladin. What do I mean with something that blows my mind? I mean, like, warriors who got Heroic Leap, and as they Heroic Leap, they will drag everything into them in the vicinity. That sounds fucking cool. Give me something new like that. Just one new shiny thing is all I ask. Besides a combat res, because I don't care about keeping my teammates alive. Ha! Sorry. Is that really... It's the DPS mindset, but yeah. It's cool, but I'm also an engineer, you know?